All right, welcome back. We continue our discussion with Advocate Sipho Mantula. We're focusing on the elections on the African continent as well and all other events that took place in 2017. Now, the issue of Zimbabwe. Let's talk about President Emmerson Mnangagwa. Some people saying, same WhatsApp group with former President Robert Mugabe, we're not going to see any much change.
One will say that Emmerson Dambuzo Mnangagwa, he's a really reformed and a rehabilitated defense minister and a vice president that we should have confidence. Remember, just recently he came to see President Zuma to look at the bi-national commissions. I think he's been fighting the issue of corruption to say that by end of February, all those who have taken money from Zimbabwe must even bring it back. I think one thing that he might have lacked is to work around multi-party democracy in that country and to finalize the issue of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in that country, because one thing that still haunts Emmerson, it is the massacre that happened in the 80s. And I think that's where he should redeem his role and to bring other tribes into the governance part. And I think one other area is for him to rebuild the ZANU-PF as the oldest liberation movement. And again, to work around working with the SADC, with the AU. But my concern, he has already went to Europe, he has already went to IMF. That's another challenge that Africans, whenever we want to revive economy, we want to rush to IMF and World Bank. And that's why we're putting ourselves into serious debts. We have the BRICS, we have the African Bank, we have the AU fund, and I think that's why we should be saying, how do we revive the economy of Zimbabwe? Which is what President Robert Mugabe has always said, that Africans should be able to solve their own African problems. Correct. Now, let's talk about female candidates. We made mention of so many countries here in Mandula, but there are no female candidates. What's happening? In fact, Kenya, there was only one candidate. There was only one female candidate, and she was being pulled off at a later stage. So we had only 8 males who were even contesting those elections. Maybe you find that the female candidates prefer to become the first ladies. And you look at the first ladies, others become not the good first ladies like Grace, what he has done. And if you look at the role of the wife of Adama Barrow from Gambia, very critical. You look at the wife of Uhuru Kenyatta, she has been there. But we have lost Salif Johnson as one of our cream of saying in 2006 we had the first female president. But I think the role of women as well is to engage, to become cabinet ministers, to become advisors, ambassadors. I think there is a role for women to play in African politics. Besides their presence in besides becoming presidents, because becoming the head of state, it is sometimes a headache. It is. And it is sometimes a toll. Let's move to the Democratic Republic of Congo. Are we likely to see elections taking place anytime soon in that country? Dr. Congo is a problem. He's a doctor that is always ill, you know. And then when you think of the doctor, he has to give the remedy, but this doctor is ill. No prescription for you. Kinshasa, you know, I think elections have been scheduled for 23 December 2018. And we have just seen just this week again, there was a burning and the looting in the house of Kabila in the Eastern Congo. I think the issue of Congo again is to work around their voters' roll. Independent Electoral Commission, the non-partisan role of the military, and the issue of looting and ethnic politics as well in Congo is very high. And I can tell you, we have let DRC down because the SADC is under South Africa. And I've said it earlier that President Zuma was bound to appoint a special envoy to deal with electoral reforms. Because what is happening now in the Eastern DRC is going to ferment and implode to another Second World War. Because it seems that we do forget that in 1998, the first African World War was in DRC, where we lost almost 6 million people. So if one looks at Kenya, I mean, Dr. Congo, it's something that DRC Congo, it is sitting on a ticking time bomb that the SADC, the AU, must step up in terms of the national dialogue, and as well as the young Kabila that we have trusted. He's aging Kabila now, because if one looks at Kabila, he's becoming a despot, a dictator, and he doesn't listen. But the role of the African Union and SADC, some people are saying these are sort of some toothless bodies in jail, not able to solve the African problems. But listen, I think maybe at the head of state level, the heads of states, they're sleeping a lot in those SADC summits. I think that is their problem there. But if you look at the SADC and AU, you have the observer missions. you have expert team, you have technical team, you have security, you have political analyst, economy. Those are the foot soldiers of SADC and AU. And I can assure you, every election in Africa, you have observer missions, you have experts that deals with this area. Like I said to you, executive ministers are the ones who are sleeping with the documents.
All right, we have to leave it at that. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to Advocate Sipho Mantula, who has been wrapping up some of the politics and elections that have transpired in the African continent in 2017. All right, 7 minutes before we say goodbye.